got with me right off the bat here Mayor Daryl Seymore, and you are also Supervisor Daryl Seymore.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. It's been a great morning here, and I appreciate the opportunity being on your show.
Cool. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, first of all, City of Show Low and everything. We could talk universally here. You know, everybody's got some anxiety built about this. The governor had a conference yesterday that was more or less confusing to most people, but tell them what you want people to do.
Well, I think yesterday it was just re-emphasizing the order of social distancing, stay at home. We really want people to really be serious about this. Anybody can catch it. It has to be socially transmitted, so the less you stay in contact with another person that's outside your family circle, or the less you go out in public, whether that be at a store, grocery store. You know, you don't know who sneezed in that aisle before you got there. Those are things that you put yourself at risk by being there. You can still, you know, we encourage people to get outside, go out in your yard, rake your yard, work in your yard, walk on trails, go take hikes, but just stay away because the air is open, and that's one of the most open areas that you can be that's safe. Open your windows in your home, air out your house. Those are just some good things that you can do, as well as say hi to your neighbors. Pick up the phone, and maybe now you're going to call them and check on them, and maybe call a stranger. How about call a restaurant and just tell them you're thankful for what they're doing? Some of those things that we don't do because we're so busy. Now we have a little bit of time to reach out to somebody.
Very good. Now, you mentioned restaurants, and there's sort of like, and everybody's encouraging everybody to go support the restaurants because they're under some tough times right now. But there's got to be a balance kind of between not interfacing with people, because we want to stay when we don't want to reduce our interface with other people's germs, so to speak. How do we do that? How do you manage that?
I think the best way, you know, on your restaurants is call your order in, if at all possible. I know a lot of the places are calling. Some of the places still have where you walk in, and really you're jeopardizing yourself when you walk into their business. But if they're strictly handing it to you through the window, you have to assume that that person that's handing it to you, that they don't have anybody that's developed any symptoms or anything like that. But when you get that container, maybe take it. Don't bring that container if it's in a plastic bag in your home. Take what's actually there out, maybe put it into another dish or something, throw that paper goods away, and then bring it into your home. That way you know it's been from your home and the food's all that's touching the plate coming in your house. I think things like that could help.
Now, another thing I wanted to bring up is the fact that, you know, you have, and I just learned you have 30 grandchildren.
Yes, we do. It's fantastic.
I can't even imagine what that Christmas card writing session looks like. But anyways, talking to the kids, because, you know, now we're at the point, they've been a couple weeks out of school, and they're starting to get the idea that something's weird here because, you know, their lives aren't that old, but they're at the point that they're like, this is not normal. And they've just been told, you're not going to go back to school this year. How are you talking to them to tell them what's going on?
You know, it's really crazy. My son just moved up in Utah, so they lost their friends close by, and they can't make new friends where they're at, so they're just kind of bonkers. But I think when you help children, tell them the truth, that this is an illness that everybody can get and how it can be shared, that it has to be, you know, from your hands to your mouth, to your nose, to your eyes, teaching them the good basic skills of hygiene, of just washing constantly 3, 5, 7, 10 times a day. You know, you touch something, I think that's something that's been real helpful. But get them involved in doing some projects. I had some of my grandkids went and picked their neighbor's lemons, and then they squeezed them, and then they took them and left them on the door, the neighbor's
nice.
you know, lemon juice. And others decided to build a fence, so they put a fence up around their house. So they're working and doing social things together as a family that they haven't been able to do all year long. They don't have the run around from the sports leagues and everybody. So families coming together, and yes, it stresses some parents sometimes, but I think this is really positive that the family can be creative and really come together and learn things from each other.
Very good. On some of the other shows we're going to be talking about, Mountain Talk specific, we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do that are social based online. There's like yoga classes, there's art classes, there's all this stuff that's going on. So that's good we have that. And you can interact with your family as well. Any final thoughts that you want to tell people?
You know, I just want to say thank you to our citizens, to our business, to the people in the hospital, the nurses, the first responders. Everybody has performed so well. realize that this is getting closer to us. We do have cases in Navajo County. We have cases that are closer to us where they're at. And so whatever we can do to stay safe, take this serious. And we just hope that we don't lose anybody to this disease. Take a deep breath in the morning.
Yep.
If you find that your lungs you cough, that means that you've got a little bit of infection starting. So that's your first line of defense there.
And that's the other thing I want to mention. Of course, he's getting lots of calls because he's got multiple duties. The other thing we want to mention is you want to make sure that you're calling your doctor or you're calling somebody. Don't necessarily just show up at the hospital or show up at a doctor's office if you think you're ill. Call in and get some contact.
It's like if you had the common if you had the common cold, what would you do? You would stay home, you would deal with it. But until you were really had a fever so high or you had a sickness that felt like, hey, I got to go to the hospital, then that's when you should go.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just to go, hey, I got to be tested because I heard this so-and-so and so-and-so was. But those people that are testing positive, we're working backwards and letting those people know that they need to be careful. So anybody that's tested positive, we had 17,000 people tested in the state of Arizona so far.
Okay.
Only 6% have tested positive.
That's good. Thank you once again, Daryl Seymore.
Thank you, Rob.
The
Appreciate
mayor
it.
and supervisor. Hey, that's going to be it for this special edition here from the Arizona White Mountain Podcast and Birdman, reminding you, stay home, and we'll see you on the web.